Oh, bother.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to Yin Yang's Let's Talk with me, Yin Yang Total War. So while I usually reserve these talks for stuff that has to do with the games, I wanted to use this time to talk about the channel, where we started, where we are, and where things will go from here. Now, for the 20 or so people that actively watch my channel, I want to say, don't worry, I'm not about to quit like so many YouTubers have already done this year. Instead, I want to talk about the structure of the channel and what things are going to look like going forward. Let's start by talking about where we've been so far. When I started this project, I was in the middle of what I didn't realize were the last few months of my career in the hotel industry. In fact, I recorded my first episode while on my lunch break, and after about 10 rewrites of trying to figure out just what I wanted to say at the opening of the video, and you know what? I still hate it. But after that video, I kept going until I found my groove. I was trying many different things, from Let's Play to commentary and reviews. Ultimately, I found a huge audience when I dropped my trailer compilation series. In fact, that's where quite a bit of my subscribers come from. The most popular of my videos ended up breaking something like 1,000 subscribers and close to 500,000 views. But that's when the setback started. You see, YouTube came down on me for what was essentially stitching trailers together because it wasn't my actual content, which is fair, even if it did take me hours to make them. What I didn't find sat right with me was that they were upset with me, but they were still farming my videos for money, so I took them down. This all happened around the same time as my career began to come to a close, as the hotel I worked for was faltering. So YouTube began its campaign of punishing me for removing my posts, my most popular content, and I was still in the middle of not one but two career changes, as I had just ended my contract with the Army a few weeks prior. To say that I was undergoing a transition would be a bit of an understatement. All that said, I was still hopeful that I would be able to juggle everything, as I happened to be in an even better career by the end of the day. But it was honestly too much responsibility, and it wasn't fair to myself, my family, or to any of you to continue that juggling. I was, by December, so exhausted that really I couldn't keep going, and that's what led to my break. So what does that have to do with all of you? Well, nothing really. Honestly, the fact that you're still around with a small and very inconsistent channel like mine speaks volumes about how awesome you are as an audience. It's not as though I've done anything to earn your loyalty, but here you are all the same, and so I thank you. That said, I am back with a renewed vigor for this channel, for Total War, and honestly just playing some video games in general. However, I wanted to share some of the lessons that I've learned from running this channel so that you guys could see what my process is going to be going forward. The first thing is something that I touched on in yesterday's video, which is that I'm going to have smaller, more focused campaigns. Something where our characters fit into a narrative rather than trying to let things happen organically. That's going to help us avoid the spiral of campaigns where we just fight wars for the sake of doing so and never really finish those campaigns or even finish them with a sense of accomplishment. kind of like the last 3 Warhammer campaigns. The next thing that I'm going to do is pre-record in batches. I tried to avoid doing that so that I could keep the videos more responsive, more reactive to what you all wanted. But what it ended up doing was creating inconsistency, because I would try to record the day or the night before, and when my schedule changed to no longer accommodate doing that, well, it just made the whole channel kind of fall apart. People stopped watching their favorite series because they never knew when the next episode was even going to come. So, I think that pre-recording will help that and help to avoid the process of getting halted by the stream of hotfixes and mod updates that were the doom of every Warhammer campaign to date. Finally, I will be cutting down on some of the intern chit-chat. Now, you guys know that I like to talk, but I will find other places to insert my thoughts about everything to do with Total War. But by cutting down the portions where we watch the factions scroll by, I think that we can really get more out of the campaigns. Because that's... I mean, that's taking up like a third of an episode if it's, say, the You on Bow campaign, where we just watch factions scroll slowly by, making poor decisions because the AI is not very smart. That being said, I think that these 3 things together, these 3 very important changes, are going to make the channel so much more consistent yet dynamic. Okay, so we've talked about the drama, we've talked about the process, so let's really get to the meat and potatoes, the schedule. Now, full disclosure, I have talked about doing a schedule before. I even made a video about it, and you know what? I failed miserably, and I own that. This time, with my changes, I hope to bring you a lot more consistency and something for everyone to look forward to throughout the week. So, starting with Monday, I will be keeping that for our historical series, namely Power and Politics, for the foreseeable future. Tuesdays will remain Tuesday Newsday. However, I will try to release another episode of Power and Politics if possible. Like, if I can get enough of them batched in together, then I will release that on Tuesdays as well. Wednesdays will now be Old World Wednesdays, where we will be doing strictly Old World campaigns on the Old World map brought to us by Chaos Roby. The first campaign for that is going to be the one that I released yesterday, which is Master of Shadows. Thursdays will be for our Let's Talk series, but will also serve as another potential day to get in some more Rome goodness. Fridays, starting next week, will become Pharaoh Fridays, which I felt was appropriate timing, especially with the newest DLC coming out on Thursday. Those I will probably pre-record one at a time to get your feedback, maybe tips and tricks, because honestly, I don't have a lot of experience with Pharaoh, and I don't know that I'm going to have enough time to really become awesome at Pharaoh before we get to next Friday. This Friday, however, will be another episode of Power and Politics, so don't be expecting one today, but expect one tomorrow. Now, for Saturdays and Sundays, I plan on those to be back-to-back episodes of Warhammer for what I'm calling Warhammer Weekend. In those episodes, I will be combining the modded the modded faction showcases with the more long-form style campaigns. Of course, they're going to have the focus in games. We will state the focus before we even start the campaign, and that's what we will stick to so that we can really see everything that the modding community has to offer, and not just little short turn 1, turn 5 showcases, because I felt like I wasn't doing those factions justice, and I'd like to really cover them in a better light. But that's it. Please let me know what you guys think of this new format, and if there's anything I could do differently to make your experience more positive going forward. I really want to bring you guys steady and consistent content and help our community grow into something more than just an empty number of subscribers, but people who enjoy theorizing, strategizing, and even criticizing, because sharing my favorite hobby is why I started this channel and why I will continue making videos even if it's just my grandma watching. Love you, Nana. Now, that said, I do hope that you'll all continue to support me, and I truly look forward to your input. And as always, to all my friends, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching.